So after 9 years, this is exciting. I know everybody's talking about it. Jon Stewart back on The Daily Show. He hosted last night, and, well, he roasted both President Biden and former President Trump for their faulty and poor memories, as well as their age. Take a look.
We have two candidates who are chronologically outside the norm of anyone who has run for the presidency in this country, in the history of this country. They are the oldest people ever to run for president, breaking by only 4 years the record that they set. The last time they ran, they are at the age. They are objectively old. They're at the age. There are no more age-related milestones to hit.
Love or hate Jon Stewart, he's right. And a lot of people said about what President Biden and his memory lapses he also talked about. Some can go for Trump and some of the things that he said on the campaign trail. But here to talk to us all about it, we've got our very own Dr. Kohli. So Dr. Kohli, how can you determine one's cognitive ability?
So you can start to get clues when you listen to them. You hear them making mistakes, having memory lapses. But really the way that we do it in medicine is with formal screening. It's called neurocognitive testing, where we have you take little tests, a mini mental status exam. So we draw a circle and we have you fill in a clock and put the numbers at 11, 10, for example. Or we'll have you do some math. So let's say I was checking Jeff here. So take 100, take away 7.
93.
Take away 7 more.
4, 3, 4 more, so 86.
7 more.
79.
7 more.
72.
So he's doing pretty well. He had a little lapse there.
The 3-4.
I would have panicked.
I would have panicked.
Right.
This was not pre-planned.
No.
That was great.
That was
I'll give you 3 words: apple, penny, table. And then in 5 minutes, I'll ask you to recall those words, because that checks our ability to sort of form new memories. It's not the distant memories we're talking about when you got married, when you had your kids. It's more your ability to form new memories and retain them. So that's really how we tell. If we're not sure, then we do blood tests and brain imaging as well.
Okay, so at what age do people's cognitive abilities start to decline? Like much, much, much later, right? Right?
Right. No, it's actually much younger than you think. So 40s to 50s is when we start to see a decline in our cognitive.
Women and men?
Yep. Okay. And it's very variable, though, because that's the average age where we start to have less processing, a little slower response times. Our distant memories are not as good, and we're just not as good at kind of doing executive planning and multitasking. But you think about all the factors and all the things in our life that can influence that. So genetics plays a big role. So some people will decline faster or later. What we do on a day-to-day basis, how active we are, how much sleep we're getting, what our job entails, what we're eating, how much alcohol we're drinking. These are all lifestyle factors that can heavily influence at what rate our memory declines. And the nice thing is it's not always like this. It can go like this. So you might have periods when you have more kind of accelerated decline if you're really in a stressful time in your life, and then things slow down, you're taking care of yourself, and they can start to level out.
Yeah. I notice it like just on my diet as well. Like it kind of goes up and down. Yeah, I could feel it. But what's a normal memory loss as opposed to maybe what we're seeing in the presidents? Are you like, I know you have to do a better, like get your hands in there and do a better test, but are you seeing a significant decline in both of these candidates?
Well, the way that we would tell is kind of the severity, the frequency, and the impact on your daily life. So I alluded to one already, which was recent things. If you forgot today that you watched the Super Bowl a couple days ago, that would be a significant lapse, or that you went to the store, or that you went shopping. If you forgot how to drive yourself home, or how to cook a meal that you've been making, those types of things are concerning. But the one that tricks people most of all is that they don't realize that they're forgetting. And so you don't have insight into the fact that you're forgetting. And so sometimes you'll say the same thing over and over again, or it's really a family member who starts to say, well, you didn't remember that you forgot this. And that's what, to me, signals something more ominous. Now we think about, presidents, we think about heart surgeons, we think about pilots. These are all people whose brain needs to be really sharp, right? An 80-year-old brain is never going to be as sharp as a 50-year-old brain. And that's a fact of life, because there's some normal age-related aging that occurs in our brain. Now, if someone was sitting in my clinic, he was 80 years old, he was retired, he's living his life with his family, it's not such a big deal to have a little bit kind of slower response. But in certain professions, it certainly can have a bigger impact.
Should they be running the country?
Yes, do you believe in age limits? for the presidency. I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but do you believe in that? Because at some point, you're right. That brain can't be good enough.
As a medical professional, I believe every public job, whether it's president or being a doctor or being a truck driver or a pilot, requires a full medical evaluation with cognitive testing to determine. I as a cardiologist, have to sign paperwork for Department of Transportation. I can't put somebody behind a truck unless I think their heart, their brain, their ability to drive is really intact.
Right.
So why do we not have those standards in every profession, including my profession? As physicians, I think we should be formally tested every few years to make sure we have our faculties. We're not losing it, because I just talked about how everybody loses it at sort of a different rate. So we can't assume that we're still as sharp as we used to be in our later.
Couldn't agree. It sounds like common sense to me.
It does.
Couldn't agree with you.
What are the 3 words? Does anyone remember?
Penny?
Apple, penny.
Apple, penny.
Horse.
No.
Apple, penny.
Tree.
Table.
Apple. You heard.
I
You
swear,
heard
I
it
swear
late.
I
Yes,
didn't hear
you
it.
did.
I swear
You're
I
a
did not.
cheat.
I did not. I swear I didn't.
Was it table?
Yeah.
DBL
Tori
Nation.
still
2 out of
doesn't
3
know.
doesn't count.
DBL
just so you know.
Nation. Follow Dr. Kohli on social media at Pyle Kohli MD. Also, be sure to subscribe to her YouTube page. Plus, check out her podcast, Heart of Medicine, wherever you listen to your podcast. Thank you so much, Dr. Kohli, as
you.
Thanks,
always.